Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about artificial intelligence, or simply AI. But before I start, I would like to ask a question. What is AI? Is it a stupid bot in the Mortal Kombat which you play against if you don't have a friends? Or is it a Hollywood visualization of a cyber killer in the Terminator? Well, I'm going to go deep and show you in this video impact on the culture, impact on the society of AI. So let's go!
In the new era where became friends with technology, we use AI on daily basis and never think about it. For example, if you're Apple user, I can surely say that you're using face recognition when you unlock your device. Or even when you use autocorrection while typing is also AI. We use AI because it's convenient, it changes our life and make it easier. However, will you believe me that this convenience of AI has bad or even terrible consequences?
Thank you for having me here today.
Last March at the Southwest Tech Conference in Texas, Tesla and SpaceX founder Elon Musk issued a friendly warning. Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. He also said, I'm really quite close to the cutting edge in AI, and it scares the hell out of me. It is capable of vastly more than almost anyone knows, and the rate of improvement is exponential. Musk, though, is far from alone and he's exceedingly skeptical. Some might say alarmist views. A year earlier, Stephen Hawking was similarly outspoken when he told an audience in Portugal that AI's impact could be cataclysmic unless its rapid development is strictly and ethically controlled. He said, unless we learn how to prepare for and avoid the potential risk, AI could be the worst event in the history of our civilization.
Impossible.
As AI grows more sophisticated and universal, the voices warning against its current and future pitfalls grow louder, and we are still in the very early stages. And here we can ask a question. Is AI a threat? The tech community has long debated the threats posed by artificial intelligence. Automation of jobs, the spread of fake news, and AI bias, and widening the social economic inequality have been proposed as a few of the biggest dangers posed by AI.
Thank you for having me here today.
Job automation is generally viewed as the most immediate concern. It's no longer a matter of if AI will replace certain type of jobs, but to what degree. In many industries, particularly but not exclusively, those whose workers perform predictable and repetitive tasks, disruption is well happening. As AI robots become smarter and more skillful, the same task will require fewer humans. And while it's true that AI will create jobs, an unspecific number of which remain undefined, many will be inaccessible to less educationally advanced members of the displaced workforce. Even professionals that require graduate degrees and additional post-college training aren't resistant to AI displacement. In fact, technology strategist Chris Messina said, some of them may well be decimated. AI already is having a significant impact on medicine. Law and accounting are next, Messina said, the former being poised for a massive shakeup. Think about complexity of contracts and really diving in and understanding what it takes to create a perfect deal structure. It's a lot of lawyers reading through a lot of information, hundreds or thousands of pages of data and documents. It's really easy to miss something. So AI that has the ability to comb through and comprehensively deliver the best possible contract for the outcome you're trying to achieve is probably going to replace a lot of corporate attorneys.
Thank you for having me here today.
Widening socioeconomic inequality sparked by AI-driven job loss is another cause for concern. Along with education, work has long been a driver of social mobility. However, when it's certain kind of work, the predictable, repetitive, kind that's likely to AI take over. Research has shown that those who find themselves out in the cold are much less apt to get or seek retraining compared to those in higher level positions who have more money. Various forms of AI bias are harmful too. Speaking recently to the New York Times, Princeton computer science professor Olga Rusakovskaya said it goes well beyond gender and race. In addition To data and algorithmic bias, AI is developed by humans, and humans are fundamentally biased. And technologists aren't alone in sounding the alarm about AI's potential socioeconomic danger. Along with journalists and political figures, Pope Francis is also speaking up, and he is not just a wasteling sanctus. At a late September Vatican meeting titled The Common Good in the Digital Age, Francis warned that AI has the ability to circulate tendentious opinions and false data that could poison public debates and even manipulate the opinions of millions of people, to the point of endangering the very institutions that guarantee peaceful civil coexistence. A big part of the problem, Messina said, is the private sector's chase of profit above all else, because that's what they're supposed to do, and so they're not thinking of what's the best thing here, what's going to have the best possible outcome.
Thank you for having me here today.
Let's focus on the way AI will negatively affect privacy and security. A prime example is China's Orwellian use of facial recognition technology in offices, schools, and other venues. But that's just one country. A whole ecosphere of companies specialize in similar tech and sell it around the world. What we can so far only guess at is whether the tech will ever become normalized. AI will also give a rise to hyper-real seeming social media personalities that are very difficult to differentiate from real ones. Deployed cheaply and at scale on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, they could possibly influence an election. The same goes for so-called audio and video deepfakes created by manipulating voices and likenesses. Using machine learning, a subset of AI that's involved in natural language processing, and audio clip of any given politician could be manipulated to make it seem as if the person spouted racist or sexist views when in the fact they said nothing of the kind. Clip's quality is high enough so as to fool the general public and avoid detection. It could completely ruin a political campaign. From that point on, no one knows what's real and what's not. So it really leads to a situation where you literally cannot believe your own eyes and ears. You can rely on what historically we have considered to be the best possible evidence. That's going to be a huge issue.
Thank you for having me here today.
Many believe the only way to prevent or at least temper the most malicious AI from wreaking havoc is some sort of regulations. I'm not normally an advocate of regulations and oversight. I think one should generally err on the side of minimizing those things, but this is a case where you have a very serious danger to the public, Musk said to SXSW. It needs to be a public body that has insight and then oversight to confirm that everyone is developing AI safely. This is extremely important.
Today. If you're over your time, Chairman Thune.
Земля в иллюминаторе, земля в иллюминаторе, земля в иллюминаторе видна. Как сын грустит о матери, как сын грустит о матери, грустим мы о земле, она одна.